Greetings and welcome to the Nova Guide for Sylvanas, Banshee Queen. If you think to betray me as well, use the menu to the left to skip ahead.
Sylvanas Windrunner made her debut in 2002's Warcraft 3. Back when she was alive, Sylvanas was a High Elf, the Ranger General of Silvermoon. When Arthas Menethil led a shambling army of undead to her city, Sylvanas was tasked with defending her people, and failed completely. Instead of killing her, Arthas, asshole that he is, decides to humiliate the elf that had so frustrated him by turning her into an undead banshee, bending her to his will and making her a part of the Scourge. When Arthas' control over his undead army started to weaken, however, Sylvanas regained her self-control and struck out on her own with other liberated undead. Settling under Arthas' former kingdom of Lordaeron, Sylvanas christened her people the Forsaken, joined the Horde, and sought to find revenge against Arthas. In the years to follow, Sylvanas has played a major role in World of Warcraft as the racial leader of the undead. In Heroes of the Storm, Sylvanas is a specialist, centered around disabling enemy minions, merc camps, and structures. She excels at sieging enemy bases and has damage comparable with assassins, but is extremely fragile, relying on positioning and careful use of her movement abilities to survive. Let's first take a look at the trait that defines Sylvanas' playstyle, Black Arrow. This lets any of Sylvanas' auto attacks or basic abilities stun minions, mercenaries, or structures. This stun lasts for 1 second by default, but can be chained indefinitely as long as Sylvanas continues to attack the target. This trait is extremely potent in its current state, disabling enemy defenses and letting Sylvanas take merc camps with no damage at all. Withering Fire attacks the nearest enemy player, minion, or structure. She can have 5 stacks of this ability at any time. It costs no mana to use this ability, and you get extra stacks back quickly by dispatching enemies. This ability doesn't deal much damage, but the pace at which it gets back stacks, coupled with no mana cost, makes it an effective means of harass. And don't worry, you can just hold down Q to make things a bit easier. Shadow Dagger is a ranged damage over time ability that spreads from any unit affected by it. Coupled with Black Arrow, this lets Sylvanas wave clear quickly and efficiently. And finally, Haunting Wave. Sylvanas sends out Banshees, dealing damage in a cone. She can use this ability again to teleport to the Banshees. Timing your use of Haunting Wave is critical to not dying as Sylvanas. While it can make a great tool to chase someone down, it's often your only means of escape as well. For her heroic abilities, Sylvanas can choose between Wailing Arrow and Possession. Wailing Arrow sends out a skill shot that damages and silences enemies in an area. The ability can be used again to trigger the effect at the desired location, otherwise it ignores units until reaching its maximum distance. This ability can be upgraded at level 20 with Deafening Blast, dealing extra damage and doubling the duration of the silence to enemies in the center of the blast. Possession takes over an enemy minion on a 4-second cooldown, giving it a little extra attack and health. This ability only works on your standard lane minions. It can be used on catapults as well, but it will increase the cooldown to 20 seconds. Upgraded with Dark Lady's Call, Possession can be used on mercenaries with the same 20-second cooldown, and increases the attack and health bonuses from 20 to 30%. I'm going to suggest this talent build. I generally feel that Sylvanas is best played and built as a ranged assassin who also just happens to have a great amount of siege utility. Solo split pushing has a high probability of getting Sylvanas killed and putting her team in a worse position. Since she's better off sticking with her team, I shy away from talents that further enhance her pushing power, and since she mostly relies on good positioning and Haunting Wave for survival, we focus on talents that buff her damage. The key components here are the combo of Envenom and Blood for Blood. These two abilities used on one opponent makes for a devastating amount of burst on a relatively short cooldown. I generally go with the Wind at level 1 as it lets me harass from a safer distance with a no-cost ability. I take Evasive Fire at 13 to complement this, the speed boost letting me either chase or run from a longer distance. We take Follow Through at level 7 as the alternatives are better suited for pushing lanes or survivability. And of course, we take Wailing Arrow at 10. The silence is a great utility tool for shutting down ability-focused heroes or interrupting key heroic abilities, and the area damage is great too. At level 20, you can choose between Deafening Blast to push your damage and utility even further, or take Bolt of the Storm if you're getting dived in teamfights. While I recommend this and consider it my go-to talent build, Sylvanas does have a number of viable choices you can make, and you can play around with the following combos to see what you enjoy the most. Turning your escape into a disorienting combo, these choices let you dart around a fight while replenishing your arrows very quickly and bombarding 2 enemies at once. This combo lets you slow and weaken entire enemy teams. And this combo is for Sylvanas, who's only interested in split pushing, taking merc camps, and avoiding enemy teams entirely. Sylvanas makes for a great bully in lane. Remember that your Q will prioritize enemy heroes over minions, so get just close enough to see the targeting reticule appear on your desired target and unload your arrows. Shadow Dagger also has a very safe range. Use it on cooldown targeting enemy heroes. If they're close enough, the ability will spread and deal damage to other enemies and minions. While Haunting Wave can be used to deal more damage, I don't recommend using it to harass. The mana cost is too high, and putting your only escape tool on a long cooldown is very risky. In the first few minutes of the game, I don't recommend trying to focus too much on sieging. Trying to keep the towers shut down means you're going to sit temptingly out of position for any roamers, and will also put you in a bad position to get attacked from the other side of the wall. Remember, she's extremely fragile, so getting attacked is bad. As soon as mercenaries spawn, Sylvanas is more than capable of taking the siege camp solo in a decent amount of time. Pay attention to Q's aiming reticule, and keep one locked down with Withering Fire and the other with auto attacks. Bruiser camps are a bit trickier. I don't recommend trying this solo since it takes a very long time. It is more likely to result in damage. That being said, you should stand near the mage merc to target it with Withering Fire and keep Q held down. You'll then auto the other 3 in turn, using Shadow Dagger on cooldown and potentially Haunting Wave to keep yourself from taking too much damage. You'll want to stick close to your team, taking up the role of ranged assassin in teamfights. Stay on the outskirts of fights and attack who you can reach, even if it's a tank. Know who has crowd control and stay out of their range. Getting locked down even for a second can cost your team the fight. If the teamfight heads toward enemy structures, prioritize keeping them shut down to save your team from a lot of damage. Decide ahead of time what the best use for your Wailing Arrow will be. Look for channeled heroic abilities like Vala's Strafe or Lili's Heal, and save your R to interrupt these critical abilities. Encourage your team to help you take enemy merc camps first. With your help, they go down quickly and do little to no damage to your team. Arguably Sylvanas' weakest map, the Curse effect makes Sylvanas' presence kind of a moot point. You should only head to the tribute if it's near you. If you're at bot and the tribute spawns atop, it's not worth leaving your lane. Stay where you are and bust up some structures. When the effect does trigger, stick with your team. With no need for wave clear and all the structures already stunned, there's no point at all being anywhere else. Swinging over to Sylvanas' best map, this one plays to all of her strengths. Don't take unnecessary risks in the first few minutes of the game. Your priority is being ready to get into the mines with mana to spare. Sylvanas can clear the undead groups extremely quickly. With the mines cleared out, Sylvanas can help her team make quick work of the siege or bruiser camps. Stick to the grave golem like flies on death, and focus on keeping the enemy team's defenses from attacking it. While the normal strategy is to push when your golem is stronger and defend when it's weaker, a caveat might be in order for Sylvanas. If you have the weaker golem and the enemy team decides to push along with it, you can break away and instead help your golem siege uninterrupted. Even a weak golem can be put to good use when nothing is attacking it. If you decide to try this, keep a careful watch on the enemy team and bail out when they break off from your base to come chase you. On this map, Sylvanas is great at breaking open the treasure chest quickly, and makes quick work of the numerous camps that hold coins. Just be careful when turning in. Your black arrow doesn't stun the large temple guardian, and you're likely to have a hard time trying to solo any temple. You can stun the smaller guardians though. Again, focus on stealing enemy merc camps whenever a safe opportunity presents itself. The newest map is relatively straightforward, if not ideal for Sylvanas. There aren't too many merc camps to worry about, and picking up gems risks putting yourself in a vulnerable position or giving up resources. When you have some gems to turn in, push hard and slip away to the altar to quickly turn them in. Stick with your team and try to shut down defenses for your web weavers. On the defensive side of things, your black arrow won't stun the web weavers, but can stun the smaller units that they spawn. I highly recommend not being the one to control either of these units. Instead, follow them and disable the defenses while the Dragon Knight or Garden Terror tear them apart. Sylvanas pairs up well with other siege-oriented units in her lane. In particular, teaming up with Sergeant Hammer lets you push waves extremely quickly and start taking down structures within a few minutes. Nova. Just Nova. Other than her, assassins who can follow Sylvanas after her attempts at escaping with Haunting Wave will usually be able to finish her off in short order. Similarly, stuns that can briefly keep her from escaping or lock her down for a second too long will end with her blowing up. Thanks for watching our guide on Sylvanas. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more Heroes guides in the future. Follow us on social media for channel updates and check out our previous Heroes videos.